On? Okay. Hey again, it's me, TheMovieDoctorful, and yeah, Star Wars: The Force Awakens teaser trailer came out Friday, and everybody's doing their reactions to it, be it in a blog or a video or whatever. So I might as well just join the crowd. I saw the trailer, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens looks mind-blowingly, shockingly, godly. Okay. It just looks okay. I'm gonna let's break it down. The trailer starts off with a stormtrooper, or at least a guy in a stormtrooper outfit, played by John Boyega. He's actually probably my favorite part of this trailer. John Boyega was the lead actor in Attack of the Block, which was an awesome horror movie, highly underrated. He did a great performance in that movie, and I'd love to see him. I love that he's moving on to bigger projects like Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Anyway, we see John Boyega in a stormtrooper outfit, sort of like looking shocked, sort of like looking around. He's sweating profusely, and then we get a shot of like a droid that's like a soccer ball. I don't know. It was stupid. It looked like something out of a fan film. And then we get we get like X-Wings, we get the Millennium Falcon, and we get that guy with that one lightsaber that, to be honest, I really hated that lightsaber for a few reasons. One, it doesn't even look like a lightsaber, it just looks like a red flame sword. I mean, just look at like the texturing of it. And second of all, it looks really impractical. Like it's like a lightsaber with like a huge front blade and two like little lightsaber blades on like the sides. I mean, it's incredibly impractical. I mean, when you like swing that thing around, like it's not gonna up your defense or like give you like an upper hand against your enemy. You're just more likely to cut off your own hand. So I didn't really like that. But overall, the trailer just looked okay. At best, it looked like a really awesome, award-winning fan film. And this is going to bring me to my main point of this video, was that I really don't think this movie should have been made. And I know that there's going to be a ton of peeps out there, a ton of teenagers, preteens, or just fanboys of the original trilogy, who are just going to be like, how could you possibly say that? You love Star Wars so much. And like, you say that you're such this big fan, but you need to understand the phrase, if you love something, let it die. Revenge of the Sith, which the last Star Wars movie that came out, was perfect. It was the perfect conclusion to this saga. It had the best acting of the series, the best characters of the series, the best fights of the series, the best cinematography of the series. It could not be beat. I used to believe that Empire was the best, but Revenge just came out and it really is a better movie. And like, it was the perfect conclusion. Even the TV spots for Revenge of the Sith, they made it this huge point that it was the final farewell for the Star Wars saga, and that made it all the more tragic. Revenge of the Sith is a tragic masterpiece of a movie, but the fact that it's the last Star Wars film made it have that greater impact. And now Disney's going out and saying, hey, remember that one movie that was this like fantastic conclusion to the saga? How about we add 3 more movies to that and lose half of the effect? And it's just, there's just no respect. I mean, even just look at this trailer. This didn't look like Star Wars. It looked more like Warhammer 40K than Star Wars. Anyway, it's just, I'm so Hollywood. There is no passion anymore. With the announcement of this new trailer and just with all the new Hollywood news, there is no passion in Hollywood anymore. Movies aren't being made because there's stories that need to be told, or because they are just important movies that like our generation needs. They're just being made to be made. It looks like that's what's happening with Star Wars: The Force Awakens. There doesn't look to be any passion in that trailer. It doesn't look to be like any of that. It just doesn't look interesting to me. I mean, let me be fair, alright? If the new Star Wars movies were set in the Old Republic, or thousands of years after Return of the Jedi, that would be fine. I would see the shit out of that movie. Because it's a generation that it's an era that we haven't seen in a Star Wars movie before. But the thing about just doing a straight out sequel trilogy, Return of the Jedi, is the Skywalker story is over. It's concluded. There's nowhere else you can go. Return of the Jedi was like, it was the perfect sort of conclusion to that. To that story arc. Revenge of the Sith was the perfect conclusion, just like film release wise. There's nothing else to be told. It's like you might as well make like a Leaving Las Vegas 2 or a 21 Grams 2. You don't need a sequel. And it just pisses me off that there are just so many unnecessary sequels in Hollywood. I mean, just with like Star Wars The Force Awakens and fucking, like a few years ago we had like Indiana Jones 4, which really didn't need to be made at all. I don't hate all of the reimagining and continuation of stories that Hollywood does. Alright, I actually like prequels as a concept, and the reason I like that is because you can see the origins of a story and see it from a new perspective. And I actually really love remakes. I'm one of those few people who really loves film remakes because it gives that experience that maybe an older generation had and gives it to a younger generation. Like, I love it when you'll have like a scene from like an original film that like made tons of people cry or scream or laugh or whatever, and then like you bring it to like a newer audience and they love it. Like, actually, like, just reminded me of, it just reminded me of something. Like, even when I saw the 2010 remake of The Wolfman, that movie compelled me to become such a big fan of the original Universal Monster movies. Remakes can open up a window of interest for a lot of people who might not be interested in a certain film genre or a certain film series otherwise. But with these unnecessary sequels like Star Wars The Force Awakens, it just didn't need to be made. The only reason it was made was because it needed to whet Star Wars fans' appetites, and I don't think that's a good enough reason. With the prequels, they needed to be made to show... There's a reason why the originals are 4, 5, and 6, because we always needed to have those prequels to understand Anakin's story and to get... and to understand half of what makes the Star Wars saga. But with these new films, it's just... Why should I care? Why should I care about what happens to Luke after the original trilogy? I don't. His story's over. His arc is completed. You're just dragging it out. And this also kind of ties in with, to a lesser degree, some other news that I got, which is that Universal is going to be remaking all of their monster movies as PG-13 adventure films. And that's including The Wolfman. Why? I mean, I heard that they're going to be in the tradition that Dracula Untold was in. I mean, I've heard good things about Dracula Untold from my friends and stuff. Everybody I know seems to like it, and maybe it is a good movie. I don't know, but watching that trailer, that wasn't Dracula. It was kind of cool looking, like with Dracula like turning into an army of bats and just like swarming into this army and just like eating all these people, but it was cool. It was cool looking, but it wasn't Dracula. And it's, whether it's good or whether it's bad, it doesn't matter because it's so disrespectful to the original Dracula story. A few years ago with that Wolfman remake, we got a movie that respected the original, respected what made the original good, but told its own story with its own characters and told it well. But it paid respects to the original tone of the original film. It was a necessary remake, I thought, because it really brought life back into the Universal Monsters, and it gave an interest with that collection of movies for me. But with these new films, judging by the descriptions, they sound an awful lot like the Stephen Sommers Universal Monster movies, those being Von Helsing and The Mummy. And that's not a good thing, because those were not Universal Monster movies. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. But the thing is, I am not going to watch Star Wars The Force Awakens. I will not see it. I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's better than Revenge of the Sith and The Empire Strikes Back combined. I'm not going to see it because it wasn't necessary. We didn't need it. Right. You know what? I take that back. Maybe if it's like free on like Cinemax, like it has everything that I wanted in like a Star Wars movie, which is highly unlikely judging this trailer. Maybe I'll see it, but it has really, really high standards to live up to, because just judging by that trailer, it just looks like bland, okay, just a bland, okay blockbuster that will get like every other year. I don't feel Star Wars from that, and I feel like making this film, continuing the Skywalker saga, is not a good thing for the Star Wars series. It's just continuing a story that nobody needs to know. If you really want to know, read the EU, but you can't even do that anymore because Disney said that the Star Wars Expanded Universe doesn't exist anymore and it's not even valid. But this is just fucking stupid. And if you think the trailer looks great, that's fine. There's a lot of people out there that this is going to be the first Star Wars movie that they get to see in theaters. And I'm glad that they have that experience, because I love Star Wars, and I want other people to feel that. But in my heart of hearts, I'm going to know that however J.J. Abrams' Star Wars turns out, whether it's shit, whether it's gold, it's just not going to be Star Wars. There's a 0.0001% that this film will be a true Star Wars film that I'm going to end up loving. But otherwise, I'm just going to skip this one. I'm not going to see it. Anyway, comment below on your thoughts on this whole debacle, on if you agree with me about what I said about Hollywood and all these unnecessary sequels that don't need to be made. And that's my opinion to the Force Awakens trailer. This is the Movie Doctorful, signing out.